So you've put all this effort, right, creating these awesome videos for TikTok, but what if you could get like double the impact, maybe even more, especially over on Instagram Reels? Like imagine boosting your Reels game without having to create tons of brand new stuff all the time. Actually, if you are looking to give your social media profiles that extra boost, you should check out rapidboost.net.
Yeah, exactly. That's the smart play we're digging into today, taking those TikToks you already made and repurposing them for Reels.
Yeah.
And it's not just about saving time, though that's huge. It's really strategic. It makes your content work harder for you, reach more people.
Right. You've already got something that works, something that connected. So now it's about understanding the little differences, the nuances to hit a whole new audience on Instagram. So our mission, really, in this deep dive is to give you a clear step-by-step guide. How to do this repurposing thing the right way. We'll look at the key differences, TikTok versus Reels, and point out those common mistakes people make. We're drawing on, like, expert advice, best practices, algorithm insights, all that good stuff. Okay, so let's get right into it then. Why bother? Why should you even think about this repurposing strategy? What's the big win here?
Well, think about the time and, the creative juice you poured into making that TikTok in the first place. If it only lives on TikTok, you're kind of leaving potential reach on the table, right?
Okay.
Both platforms are massive, obviously, but their algorithms, they work differently. Reels especially, it's really geared towards discovery, hitting new eyeballs, not just your existing followers.
So you're saying basically get more miles out of the content you already busted your hump making.
Exactly. And we've actually got data to back that up. There was this HubSpot report, 2023, I think. It found businesses repurposing content saw like up to a 200% increase in social impressions.
Wow, 200%.
Yeah. And they spent about 50% less time actually creating content.
Yeah.
Because, the hard part, the initial creation, was already done on TikTok.
Double impressions, half the creation time. Okay, that's pretty compelling. I'm listening.
It really is. And think about the algorithms again. TikTok is super interest-driven, right? It finds people who like your niche, Instagram Reels. It looks at things like consistency, how much people share it, how long they watch. Retention is big. So if you take a TikTok that did well and adapt it smartly for Reels, you're giving it a whole second shot in a totally different environment.
Interesting. So a video could kind of fizzle on TikTok maybe, but then take off on Reels just because the algorithm over there is looking for different signals.
Precisely. And your audience.
Yeah.
They're not just on one app,
Yeah.
usually. Lots of people scroll through both TikTok and Instagram.
Yep.
So being active on both, it just reinforces your brand, your message, catches people wherever they happen to be hanging out. Actually, Social Media Examiner, also in 2023, found marketers using video across multiple channels saw way higher engagement, like 120% higher than sticking to just one platform.
Okay. The why is crystal clear. More reach, less work, stronger presence. Makes total sense. But you said just hitting share isn't the answer. So what are these crucial differences, TikTok versus Reels? What do you absolutely need to know when you're repurposing?
Yeah, this is where you got to be smart about it. Just cross-posting rarely works as well. First big thing, video length. TikTok, started short, but now it can go to 10 minutes. Reels started short too, maybe 15, 30 seconds. Now it's up to 90 seconds.
Seconds, okay.
But here's the thing. Most Reels that really pop, they're often much shorter. Like 7 to 30 seconds is often the sweet spot.
So even though Reels allows 90 seconds, shorter is often better, which probably means trimming down your TikToks.
Very often, yeah. Trimming is key. Now, the good news is both use that vertical 9.16 format. That helps.
Right.
But how they place captions, buttons, the username, that's different. The safe zones aren't identical. So like on Reels, the username and caption are usually slapped right at the bottom.
Okay.
Which means any important text or maybe a visual element you had perfectly placed down there in your TikTok, it might get totally covered up on Reels.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a sneaky one. Visuals getting blocked by the interface. Crucial detail. What about sound, music? That's huge on TikTok.
Absolutely massive. And
Yeah.
TikTok has this giant library of commercial sounds, trending audio. It drives so much. Instagram Reels also has a big music library, and this is a big but, the licenses, the copyright rules, they're different. So that super popular sound that's all over your TikTok For You page, it might just not be available to use legally on Instagram Reels. The license isn't there.
So my perfect TikTok audio might be a no-go on Reels. That could definitely mess things up, like lip sync challenges or specific vibes.
It really can. You might find something similar in the Reels library, maybe. But you got to check, does it still fit? Is lip sync going to look weird now? Does it kill the whole mood you were going for?
Okay, sound is a definite potential headache.
Yeah.
What else? Captions, hashtags, those TikTok stickers like polls and stuff.
Again, different approaches.
Yeah.
TikTok captions can be longer, right? People stuff hashtags in there, sometimes try for SEO keywords. Reels tends to favor shorter, punchier captions. And the hashtag strategy is very Instagram specific. You need different hashtags for Reels discovery.
Right.
Plus, those interactive things on TikTok Duet, Stitch Reels doesn't have a direct copy of those. You need to use Instagram's own tools like their skippers or maybe Remix to get interaction.
So ditch the long TikTok description, rethink the hashtags for Instagram, and adapt the interactive stuff.
Got it. And one last big one, branding, specifically watermarks.
Ah, yes, the TikTok logo.
That little bouncing logo,
Yeah.
Instagram. Well, its algorithm tends to push down videos that have watermarks from other apps.
Right. They want native content, or at least content that looks native. So that TikTok logo, big disadvantage on Reels.
Huge disadvantage. Getting rid of that watermark is like step 0. Absolutely essential for decent reach on Reels.
Okay, great breakdown. We get the why, more reach, less grind, and we get the what, the key differences in length, layout, sound, text, and watermarks. So now, the million-dollar question. How do you actually do it? Let's get practical. What's the fast, easy workflow for turning those TikToks into killer Reels, step by step?
Okay, let's break it down. 4 main stages. Stage 1, get your TikTok video downloaded correctly, meaning without the watermark.
Watermark free. Rule number 1, how do we do that?
Easiest way, save the video before you actually publish it on TikTok. When you're done editing in the app, right there on that final screen, there's a save. Hit that, gives you a clean copy.
Ah, okay. Save before publishing. Smart. What if it's already published?
No worries. There are pretty reliable third-party tools out there. Things like Snaptic, SS TikTok, Musical.ly Down, there are a few. You just copy the link to your published TikTok, paste it into one of those sites or apps, and they'll usually give you a download option without the watermark.
Gotcha. Third-party apps as a backup. Seems easy enough. So we have the clean video file. What's step 2?
Stage 2 is editing specifically for Reels. First thing usually is adjusting the length. We talked about Reels often being shorter, right? Under 90 seconds, ideally maybe even shorter.
Right, that 730-second sweet spot.
Exactly. So if your TikTok is longer, you'll probably need to trim it down, find the best bits. Or maybe if it's really long, you could split it into a couple of Reels, like a mini-series.
Okay, trim or split. What tools are good for that?
Lots of options. Mobile apps like InShot or CapCut are super popular and easy to use. VN Editor is another good free one. Adobe Rush if you want something more powerful. Or, honestly, even Instagram's own built-in editor can handle basic trims.
Cool. So trim for length. What else in the editing stage?
Cropping and reframing. Remember those UI differences?
Yeah, the captions covering stuff up.
Right. So you need to double check. Is everything still visible in that 9.16 frame on Reels?
Yeah.
Is any text you added getting cut off by the username or caption bar at the bottom? You might need to nudge things around.
Check the safe zones, basically. Adjust your own text placement if needed. What about the audio fix? Is that stage 2 as well?
Yep. Stage 2, if you used a trending TikTok sound, now's the time to search for it in the Instagram music library. If it's there, great. If not, you need a plan B. Find a similar vibe from the Reels library, maybe use some royalty-free music, or just stick with your original audio if that works.
Okay. Stage 1, clean download. Stage 2, edit for Reels. Length, framing, audio. What's stage 3?
Stage 3 is prepping for Instagram's native features and engagement. This starts with the caption and hashtags. Don't just copy-paste the TikTok caption. Write something fresh, probably shorter, punchier, for Instagram. And do your hashtag research specifically for Instagram.
Right. Different platform, different hashtag game, any tools for that.
Yeah, tools like Flick or Later have hashtag research features. Even just looking at Instagram's suggestions when you start typing can help. Find relevant, trending hashtags for Reels.
Okay, fresh caption, Insta-specific hashtags. What about making it interactive?
Good point. Since Duet Stitch aren't there, think about using Instagram stickers, polls, quizzes, question boxes. Add those to your reel itself, or maybe promote the reel in your stories. Using those stickers, get people tapping.
Use Instagram's tools for Instagram engagement. Makes sense.
And if it was a collab or branded content on TikTok, make sure you tag people properly on Instagram. Use the collab feature if you can, or the paid partnership label if needed.
Got it. Adapt engagement for Insta's toolkit. Okay, brings us to stage 4.
Stage 4, uploading and optimizing for discovery. Key thing here. Upload natively, directly through the Instagram app.
Don't use those cross-posting tools that promise to do it automatically.
Generally, no. Native uploads tend to perform better in the algorithm. Instagram seems to prefer it. And when you upload, pick a good thumbnail. Either choose a frame from the video that looks really engaging, or upload a custom cover image you made, maybe in Canva.
Native upload, eye-catching thumbnail. Check. Anything else for optimizing?
Yeah, think about when you post. Check your Instagram insights. When are your followers most active? Schedule your reels for those peak times. Tools like Buffer, Hootsuite later can help you schedule them out. Consistency matters too.
Analyze insights. Schedule strategically. Good tips.
And last bit for stage 4. Once it's live, engage. Reply to comments quickly, pin good ones, share the reel to your story, give it that initial push.
Okay, that's a solid process. Download clean, edit for reels, prep for Insta engagement, upload natively, and optimize. Seems doable.
But you mentioned pitfalls. What are the big mistakes you see people making all the time, and how do we avoid them? Oh yeah, definitely see some common ones. Number 1, we keep saying it, watermarks. Leaving that TikTok logo on, it just kills your reach on Reels. Instagram doesn't like promoting its competitors. So, rule 1, remove the watermark. Always.
Watermark, bad. Got it. What else?
Audio problems. Either the sound just feels off because you had to swap it, or worse, you get a copyright flag. If that TikTok sound isn't licensed for Insta, your reel could get muted or even blocked entirely in some places. So check the license or just play it safe and use Instagram's library or original audio.
Muted or blocked reels, definitely want to avoid that. Check the audio. Okay, what other traps?
Bad cropping. Where important text gets cut off at the bottom or side because of the Reels interface.
Right, didn't account for the safe zones.
Exactly. Always preview how it looks in the Reels editor before you hit publish. Make sure nothing vital is hidden. Also, just reusing the same hashtags and description from TikTok, it's lazy and it doesn't work well. You need to tailor them for Instagram search and trends.
Update hashtags and captions for Instagram relevance. Don't just copy-paste.
And finally, just ignoring Instagram's features. Like trying to replicate a TikTok trend that relies heavily on duet without thinking about how you could use Reels remix or interactive stickers instead. You gotta play the game on the platform you're on.
Embrace the native features. Don't try to force TikTok style onto Reels completely. Okay, those are good pitfalls to watch out for. You mentioned a case study earlier, Lucy, the fitness influencer. Can you tell us a bit more about how that worked for her?
Yeah, Lucy. So she had a decent TikTok following, posting great fitness tips, workouts, that kind of thing. But Instagram felt like a struggle. She wasn't getting much traction there.
Okay.
So her team decided to get serious about repurposing. They picked her top, say, 3 performing TikToks each week. Key things they did: save the originals before posting to TikTok, no watermark. Used CapCut to trim them down, usually around 30 seconds. Carefully reframed to make sure no exercise form instructions got cut off by the Reels interface.
Smart. Address the length and the visual layout.
Exactly. And they stopped just copying TikTok hashtags. They researched what fitness hashtags were actually trending on Instagram each week. The results: pretty impressive. In about 3 months, her Instagram follower growth jumped by 70%.
70%. Wow.
Yeah. And her Reels started reaching like 3 times more people than her old static photo posts did. Plus, bonus, her team said it actually reduced their weekly content workload because they weren't constantly brainstorming new Insta-only ideas.
That's huge. Big growth, way more reach, and less work overall. That really drives home the power of doing this strategically. Okay, so to make this super concrete for everyone listening, what are the essential tools you would recommend to make this whole TikTok to Reels process smoother?
Yeah, definitely some helpful tools out there. For getting rid of watermarks, we mentioned SnapTik and SS TikTok. Those are popular. For the actual editing, trimming, resizing, adding text, InShot and CapCut are fantastic on mobile. VN Editor is great too, and free.
Okay, editing covered. What about hashtags?
For hashtag research specific to Instagram, tools like Flick or Hashtag Expert can be really useful. They help you find relevant and effective tags.
Good ones. Thumbnails, graphics.
Canva is kind of the go-to for a lot of people. Easy to create custom thumbnails or any simple graphics you might want to overlay.
Canva, yeah, super useful, and for scheduling and seeing what works.
Buffer and Later are solid choices for scheduling your Reels out in advance. They also offer analytics. But honestly, don't sleep on the built-in analytics from Instagram and TikTok themselves. Dive into your insights regularly. That's where you really learn what your audience responds to.
Great list of tools: watermark removers, editors, hashtag finders, graphics, schedulers, and native analytics. Very helpful. Now let's talk about going viral, or at least trying to. Any insider tips for really boosting your chances when you cross-post from TikTok to Reels?
Okay, yeah. Viral is tricky. Never guaranteed, right? But you can definitely improve your odds. First tip: refresh the hook. Those first 2 seconds on Reels, absolutely vital. People scroll fast.
Even faster than TikTok sometimes, feels like.
Maybe. So even if the TikTok hook was good, maybe for Reels you add a slightly different text overlay right at the start, or a new voiceover line, something to grab that Reels scroller immediately.
Punch up the first couple of seconds specifically for the Reels audience. Smart. What else?
Batch your work.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't try to do this one video at a time every single day. It'll burn you out. Set aside a block of time. Download, say, 5 TikToks. Edit all 5 for Reels. Write captions for all 5. Schedule them all out. It's way more efficient.
Batching. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense for workflow. Keep it consistent without the daily scramble.
Definitely. Another thing, monitor your Reels insights like a hawk, but be patient. Sometimes a Reel takes a few days to catch fire on Instagram, unlike TikTok where it can be more immediate. Watch reach, shares, saves, especially saves. That tells Instagram people find it valuable. Learn what's working over time, not just in the first hour.
Good point. Reels can have a slower burn sometimes. Track the metrics patiently. And you mentioned collabs.
Yeah, if your original TikTok was a collaboration with someone else, use Instagram's collab feature when you post the Reel version. It puts the Reel on both your profiles, instantly doubles your potential audience for that post. Super powerful if the original content involved another creator.
Excellent tips. Refresh the hook, batch the workflow, monitor insights patiently, and leverage the collab feature. Love it. Okay, let's wrap this up by giving you, our listener, super clear action steps. What should you do right now, today, to start putting this into practice?
All right, step 1, audit your TikToks. Go through your library, look for videos that got good engagement, are evergreen, meaning not tied to a super short trend, or maybe fit a current Reels trend. Pick a few winners.
Okay, audit and select. Step 2.
Download clean copies, watermark free. Use the Save Before Publish trick or a third-party tool.
Got the clean files. Step 3.
Edit for Instagram's nuances. Trim the length if needed. Think short. Reframe check those safe zones. Make sure nothing important gets cut off.
Edit for Reels specs. Step 4.
Update the audio if you need to. Check if the TikTok sound is available on Reels. Find an alternative if not. Then write a fresh, punchy caption and research relevant Instagram hashtags.
New audio, new caption, new hashtags. Step 5.
Schedule it. Use insights to pick a good time. Upload natively. Share it to your story for a boost. And then engage with comments as they come in.
Schedule. Upload natively. Engage. Step 6.
Analyze. After a few days, check your Reels insights. What worked, what didn't. Reach, saves, shares. Use that data to inform your next batch.
Analyze and learn. And the final step.
Repeat. Make this part of your regular process. Audit, download, edit, optimize, schedule, analyze, repeat. Becomes a system.
Love it. A clear 7-step cycle. Audit, download, edit, update, schedule, engage, analyze, repeat. That feels really manageable.
Exactly. And remember, this isn't just about churning out more posts. It's about being smart. It's strategic leverage, taking something valuable you already created and making it work even harder for you.
And that leverage, that smart work, has real benefits for you listening.
Absolutely. You maximize the ROI on your creative energy. You tap into potentially huge new audiences on Instagram. And crucially, you free up time. Time you can use for, well, anything. More creativity, strategy, rest, whatever you need.
So the challenge, the invitation to you right now is to take that first step. Dip back into your TikToks, find 1 or 2 promising videos, and just try walking through these steps. Prep your first repurposed reel.
And maybe think about this. What if you did this consistently? How could strategically repurposing your content actually change your whole growth path on social media? What could you do with the extra time and energy you'd gain? It's more than just efficiency. It could really open up new doors.